Well, good afternoon. I am excited to be here and excited to introduce our distinguished speaker, Brooke Gillis. I will do no justice to introduce Brooke because the energy and the passion that she brings to entrepreneurship and to focused founder support is absolutely incredible. I met Brooke several years ago, and the first thing that I noticed about her was the energy and the enthusiasm that she brought to everything that she does. And now I have the pleasure of working with her, and I can guarantee you that she brings that 100% every single day and is a pleasure to work with. So Brooke is also a Memphis native. So we've got some Memphis folks at the table. She grew up in Memphis and went to Alabama, so came here in 99. And she and Brent have been living in Birmingham for over 20 years. So they reside in Homewood. And if she is not running around and busy at Innovation Depot, then she is shuttling a kid to a soccer tournament all over the place, or college visits, or she's putting up soundproofing panels for her 14-year-old's game room. So she keeps it busy. She brings it 100%, and she is in full support of our entrepreneurial ecosystem. So we're lucky to have her as the lead at Innovation Depot. So please welcome Brooke Gillis to the podium.
Thanks, Abby. I think I heard the word energy like 10 times. I think I might need to tone down my energy level. My husband would probably say the same thing. So I actually met Abby on the steps of the Denim building about 4 years ago, and she was running Venture for America at the time, which I think y'all heard from last week. And I'll never forget watching her lead these young, talented, I guess some of them were called kids to me because fellows, so well. And I said, one day I'm going to work with her. I didn't know how or why. And so when this job came available, I met with many ecosystem leaders, many of them in this room today, learning about the Innovation Depot and kind of what was next. And she was one of the ones I met with. And I remember sitting there sharing our lunch bowls and thinking, she's going to be my first hire. And so literally the first few months on the job, I stole her from VFA, and she will not brag about herself, but in the few 6 or 7 months she's been here, she's raised over $1 million. So that $1 million, yeah, okay. That money is going to help so many entrepreneurs in Birmingham, and we are really, really grateful to have her. Okay, so let me get my clicker. Let's do this. I was down really hard with COVID last week. So I was supposed to speak with you last Tuesday, and my team said, no, you cannot speak. So I pivoted, and now I'm here today. But during those 6 days laying in the bed, I thought, what in the world did I want to tell a bunch of people that probably already know about the Innovation Depot, kind of what the next journey looks like? And so my team here knows I hate talking about myself with a passion, but the best way to tell you about the depot is actually to tell you about the depot from the lens of an entrepreneur. And so today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey at the Innovation Depot. I actually got my start there 16 years ago, 15 and a half, 16 years ago. I was one of the first tenants, if not the first tenant, when I was the director of sales and marketing for the Culinard Cafe. Many of y'all probably know Culinard as Virginia College. I see a lot of head shaking. And during that time, we had this very narrow space, if you've been to the depot, where currently Crestline Bagel sits. And we were gifted this really ugly cafe bar, essentially, or bakery bar with gold handles. And we had to finagle that bar or that counter to fit in this space. And I'll never forget Susan Matlock peeking through the windows and thinking, this is going to be a complete and utter disaster. But we got it done. And after serving many years at Culinard, I decided it was time to go back home and stay home with my 2 young boys, which are now, as Abby mentioned, 14 and 16, and spend time at home. So I went home, packed my stuff up. I was only there for a few short months, and I was called out of my very quick retirement back to the Innovation Depot. Let's see where I worked as the director of sales for a company called InstaGift. This was a photo of our office on the very back hallway. That hallway had 3 offices. And those 3 offices were InstaGift, Fleetio, and Theranest. I don't know if any of you know anything about the startup community, but Shagan just exited with over $1 billion from Theranost, and Fleetio will be right behind. So many of us in this room, including the board president, we like to call this the magic hallway. And on that magic hallway, as you see here, it's a very open concept. So if you go to the Innovation Depot, a lot of open concept offices. Well, I was the director of sales, so I had to sit beside people and make sales calls, and that was not going to work. So one night, late at night, our CEO, along with his father-in-law, snuck in some tools in the back door, and they put together these really interesting phone cubes, as you see here, with a monkey and a robot on them. These phone cubes did not have air. So I would sit in those phone cubes day in and day out making sales calls, and I would hear no after no after no. But when I heard a yes, I would slam open that door. I need a gong here. And I would run over to the gong you see in the picture, which I found and brought with me. And I would hit that gong as loud as I could and celebrate that I just made a win. And the cool thing about that moment was not the fact that I was there celebrating, but that about 2 seconds later, there would be a knock on the door, and Fleetio and Theranost would be there to celebrate with me. That wouldn't happen if I was in my basement. That wouldn't happen if I was on the 4th floor of, the Harbert Center working alongside people that weren't entrepreneurs like myself. Those moments happen every single day at the Innovation Depot. So when I got this job, I made it my mission to make that the reality for the 128 companies that fill our 140,000 square foot building. So we put together community events. We now host Tech on Tap with a lot of other organizations. We fill this building every month with hundreds of entrepreneurs doing really, really cool things. As you can see here, I really wanted to bring founders with me because I don't like talking about myself, but they weren't able to all make it. I only have one founder here. Thanks, Mark, for coming out, one of our strong founders at the Depot. So I called my director of marketing, Richie, who's here on this first table, and said, can you create me a video? So just in a few short days, he went around the Depot and found some talented entrepreneurs and put together this quick video. So let's dim the lights and roll the video and take a look inside the lives of entrepreneurs.
Well, hi, I'm Shobanda. I am the co-founder and CEO of Bright Bay Health Corp, where we're really focused on expanding access to care for what we term as the working uninsured. We actually built technology to match those uninsured individuals with providers of all specialties, so primary care, therapy, all sorts of different provider services. But we offer that on a membership-based model of care. We located here as a Prosper Health Tech Accelerator participant, became a portfolio company, and then relocated here roughly about a month now. The reason that we actually made the decision to make this our space and Bright Bay's home is honestly, as cliche as it may sound, it was 100% the energy. Whenever I come here, it does not even matter whether it's a social event. It can be 11 o'clock in the morning, it can be close to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I inevitably run into someone I know, someone I heard on a panel that I've been trying to get to know, or just a supporter of ours who may be in the building for a meeting with someone else, but then runs into us. And so I have to say, this is the hub. I mean, this is the place.
Hey, my name is Tevin Harrell, the CEO of SmartWiz, where we allow tax professionals to file returns in minutes, not hours. We are 1 in 15 IRS approved tax professional softwares in the United States, the latest to be approved in the last 15 years. And now we're going to change the way that every single working person in America file their taxes forever. We chose Innovation Depot as our home because, one, it's the central hub of entrepreneurship in Birmingham. Most of the events are happening here. Most of the opportunities to learn are happening here or somewhere in the area. The staff has been amazing. They actually saw our first original pitch deck They were the first people that we pitched to and say, hey, what do you think about this? It was an hour long and pretty terrible, but now, we worked on that a lot. And we've already moved 3 offices within a year. So they can also help accommodate how we're growing, how fast we're growing, and it's been pretty amazing so far.
Hey, I'm David Stewart, one of the co-founders at Vendrix, and we are a software-enabled credit card for contractors. And just like any tool on the job site, credit cards can be misused. We help prevent that by enforcing, logical controls where needed, and eliminating the expense report and other tedious items like receipt capture. We're a small team, and we've been remote since 2020. And coming down to the depot has been probably one of the best things we could do, not only for the team internally and just collaboration, but we're here with other startups. Some startups are a little ahead of us, some are behind us. We're all going through dealing with the same problems, or have dealt with them in the past. And startups are hard.
Hi, John Brown, founder and CEO of Stenco. Stenco makes a biodegradable coating that goes onto paper or molded fiber that gives it the performance of plastic. Simply put, it stands up to what you put into it. It does what food packaging should do without harming the environment. Innovation Depot has been our home since the beginning. With that, we've gotten both recognition in the community as well as attention from the investors, which of course makes it all go. But more importantly, it is a group of like-minded entrepreneurs who help each other at every turn.
Awesome. Thanks, Richie, for that awesome video. So an entrepreneur's journey can start at a lot of different places. We want to meet entrepreneurs at every single place in their journey. And so what we start with is we fill the funnel with early stage founders that just simply have an idea. We've got Amanda here, our program manager, sitting on the front row. And what she does is recruit talent that's not yet ready to quit their 8-to-5 job, but they have an idea and they want to see if it's going to work. So they move into the Innovation Depot on the weekends for 6 weeks. They go heads down on building their product. We surround them by professionals, by mentors, just access to others that are working in the space. And we hope that one day they're able to quit their job and they're able to be the next person to move into the depot. Other founders enter their journey in a much later path. They actually choose to go through what we call an accelerator. Accelerators, if you don't know, are typically 3-month programs. They happen all over the world in many different verticals. And they really can help change a company. A company may be looking for capital investment. They may be looking for mentorship. And in return, these companies or these accelerators get a percentage into the company. I don't know if many of you know, but Velocity was the first ever accelerator here in Birmingham, Alabama. I actually had the pleasure to help start the Velocity Accelerator at the Innovation Depot. At the time, our CEO from InstaGift, the company I was working with, got pulled back and said, hey, I want you to run this accelerator. And then I was able to use something else I'm very passionate about, and that's design. I was given $50,000, 4,000 square feet in the depot, and 3 short months. And then we built the Velocity Accelerator. The Velocity Accelerator has helped 39 entrepreneurs, has had about 133 jobs come out of that accelerator, and over 70% of those companies are still in business today. But when I came to the depot, we really took a step back and thought to ourselves, we have attracted now national and global accelerators. Many of them I see in this room today. Those accelerators are Techstars, Generator, Bronze Valley, Builders and Backers, Prosper, Hudson Alpha, Tech MGM. And so we decided to pause the Velocity Accelerator and instead lean in on those who are doing it every single day, thinking in and out how to run an accelerator. So my journey continues. After Velocity at InstaGift, I got recruited, if I can get my clicker to work here, to actually run the next accelerator, the Techstars Alabama Energy Tech Accelerator. I got to dabble a little bit more in design. As we moved into the Denham building, I was given a much bigger pot of cash, thanks to this amazing Alabama Power team here, to build out the Techstars Alabama Energy Tech Accelerator at the Denham Building. So about 4 years ago, we welcomed our first class to the Denham Building here in Birmingham. These founders are only focused on energy tech. And with the sponsorship of Alabama Power, they were able to move here from all over the world and have investments here, to hire people here, and to live here for a short amount of time. Now I'm going to show you a video, and it's a little edgy. It's the highlight video from the Techstars Alabama Energy Tech. Last night I got to pitch to UAB students, grad students, and I showed them this very same video, and they said, "I want to join that. That looks like a fun frat party." This is not everything that happened at Techstars. Most of the days were spent head down, working on their products, coming in at night, coming in on the weekends. But we did make this cool highlight reel. And so I'd like to just take a few minutes and show you what it's like to go through an amazing accelerator. So roll the tape.
I'm going way out into the open. I'm going straight in, all in the moment. Out. To the open. Silence, alone in the quiet. I'm tired, but I like it. I'm a long way from home.
It means a ton to me that you all came to Alabama. I mean, it's unbelievable that we were able to bring you all here and that you had faith and trust in us to come here. And so I do mean it as heartfelt, like, thanks for coming. This has been a wild and wonderful ride, and you are all such an amazing group of people. I say this with all sincerity. Nights like tonight, moments like this right here, some of the most important moments that our startup ecosystem has ever had.
That looks like a lot of fun, doesn't it? Techstars is one of the largest investors in the world, and they've helped over 8,000 companies to date. They're in fintech and Web3, energy tech, pharma tech, from Silicon Valley to Miami to Lagos to London. And now for the last 4 years, we have got to have them right here in Birmingham, Alabama, along with so many other amazing accelerators. So when I moved into the depot, I thought to myself, what can I do first? And when you leave an accelerator, you leave all this fun and games, you think to yourself, what's next? And being an entrepreneur can be very lonely. And so you leave an entrepreneur accelerator, you've got 32 best friends, and then they all leave and they go back to their respected cities. And what do we do as an ecosystem? And so I thought long and hard about what I should do at the depot. And the best idea I had was we need to get them in the depot from the very start. They don't need to be down the street at the Denim building. They need to be under our roof so that we can show these entrepreneurs how to love Birmingham. And then their next step is to literally walk right down the hall and rent an office space of maybe 175, 200 square feet with their 1 to 3 employees. We want these accelerator graduates like the Prospers and the Bronze Valley I see in the room to live here, to hire here, to raise money here, and to love Birmingham just like all of us do. So I'm excited to say that we tore up the velocity space. We got some more money from Alabama Power and all of our amazing people that like to give to nonprofits and organizations like the Innovation Depot and Techstars. And just last week, we moved Techstars into the Innovation Depot. And just a few days ago, we welcomed, I'm not sure what the number is, Joy, but maybe 32 new entrepreneurs from all around the world to live, to work, to hire here in Birmingham for the next 3 months. We're very excited about having Techstars. We're going to work on all the other accelerators day in and day out until they come under our roof. Not looking at anybody particular here. But all that to say, I want all of you to be involved. Like, come to the depot. The things that we have to offer the depot is not just working space. As you see here, you have 4 photos. You have a co-working space where you can come and just rent a desk for the day, for the week, for the year. You've got office spaces as small as 200 and as large as 3,000 where you can grow your company. We've got a foyer area that we have now a new membership model. So if anyone in this room would like to become a member, it's just $50 a month. You can come and work in our common areas alongside all of these amazing entrepreneurs. So my ask of you today is, not that you told me to make an ask, but my ask of you today is to just do one thing. Be their customer, be their investor, become a member, just be part of the ecosystem because it's thriving and you don't want to miss out. So thank you so much. I'm happy to take questions, but we'd love to have you be a part of the Innovation Depot.
Questions from the crowd?
Yes, Tom.
Well, I wish this existed. Speaking of that, can you explain how have something like this that pertains to the electric capital that we develop in our city, but also keep all of the second piece.
Yeah, so as far as so how do we recruit talent? How do we retain the UABs and the Birmingham Southerns and Auburn, Alabama here in Birmingham? And then he also asked kind of what kind of occupancy we're looking at and how we differ from other buildings. I think I'm going to go with the question 2 first. So we're at 90% occupied at the Innovation Depot. We'd actually like to stay there. For many, many years, the Innovation Depot has been 100% occupied, which doesn't allow room for growth. And so we do have some office spaces available. We have some people moving over to the beautiful Next Tech building as they graduate out. And so we will have some spaces available. But as far as the second question goes, as for how we retain talent, I will say talent is one of our biggest struggles. We sent a survey out to our founders just a few months ago, and there's 4 main topics that they struggle in. Raising capital, we all know that. Hiring great talent, pitching, so they wanted help to just how do you pitch your story? And I think the third one was just how do we build a community when we're just a startup? And so we're helping them along with all 4 of those, but talent is definitely a priority for us. Abby serves on a board along with Tech Birmingham and Birmingham Bound that's backed by the city to try to help upskill some of our young adults. Or even not even young adults, but people that just want to get back in the workforce. So it's definitely top of mind and something we're working on every single day. Come on, guys, give me a hard one.
Are there other innovation depots around the country?
Absolutely. So the closest one is probably Atlanta Tech Village. We've done a lot of research about. I'm also pretty familiar with Capital Factory and in Austin, but A lot of cities have incubators essentially, and that's kind of what we are. We incubate companies. We're not just a building, to go back to your question, we're not just an office building. We help them by giving them all the resources to give them every fair advantage to be successful. So we knock down the barriers. We give them access to a cafe so they can quickly grab lunch, or a gym, or wellness speeches. We put them in front of VCs. We teach them how to pitch. Other accelerators and incubators do the exact same thing in bigger cities. I think one place we do differ is we do not have investments in our companies. Many others do. I don't know, the board has kind of played with that a little bit on should we have investments in our companies? And right now that's really not where we're headed. But yes, there's many other incubators around. I will say 140,000 square feet is a very, very large incubator. And so we're really proud to be the largest in the Southeast.
If memory serves, Innovation Depot grew out of or was an early part of OAPI, Office for the Advancement of Developing Industries, UAB. What relationship, if any, do you have now?
Well, many UAB leadership sit on our board. I've got Ray Watts on speed dial, and I speak to their classes pretty often, their entrepreneurship class or business class. They do have a place in our building right across the hall from Techstars, actually, that, what do they call that, Abby? The innovation, that, no. The entrepreneurship center. And so we do have students from UAB in and out. They're also a big supporter financially for the Innovation Depot, along with many other supporters. So we work very closely with UAB. Actually met them just the other day. We haven't. They brought some of their students to tour our facility, but we're looking to get more involved there. Yes. Go for it.
There's a little bit of complexity in what people describe as ecosystem. When I first heard the word ecosystem, James Child worked with startups with ideas like video and others, and then the chamber used to host Tech Birmingham and Birmingham Picture Club, and then that spun out under those organization. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I think the accelerator slide was just incredible. There's a lot of discussion about ecosystem collaboration, and I think there's been discussion over the years, and then after that discussion, organizations go back into their silos because they want to get money from their founders and not use it. But I think there's a lot of traction. I would love to hear your thoughts about that and what can we do, particularly when you're looking at the business world where, Birmingham Business Line sits in the business ecosystem, but I think there's overlap and opportunity there. And I'd love to hear your thoughts.
So it's interesting, last week at the BBA Chamber Luncheon, I think I saw you there, the mayor spoke and said, let's shake things up. And I'm with the mayor, let's shake things up. I will say we have to stay focused on tech and tech-enabled companies. And so at the Innovation Depot, unfortunately, we can't house all small businesses. We do have a lot of ecosystem supporters in our building, like Birmingham Promise, like BBRC, SBDC. There's a lot of acronyms there. And so we want them in our building. We want them to help our entrepreneurs. And so to speak to you, we are not helping small businesses, but we can direct them in the right place. As far as shaking things up, as the mayor's challenged us to do, I think we should. We have a lot of new leaders right now in some of these positions, and we are working together day in and day out. And so you may say that we're all siloed, but I promise you, I've actually seen you more this week than I've seen anybody, but we are not siloed. We are working together. We would love for the BBA to have a place at the Innovation Depot and Birmingham Bound and Prosper and Bronze Valley, just to have a presence there. So we can all work together, because obviously the one common goal is to continue our ecosystem. So we'll all just need to grow together. Shake it up.
Question.
Yes.
As you're looking at the health of the startup ecosystem, are there 2 or 3 metrics or measures that you're looking at?
Oh, I think when I look at the ecosystem, I think that we're very heavy in health tech. We're very heavy in energy tech. At the depot, we have 13 labs I didn't even mention, so we're really heavy in biotech. I think when I look at the ecosystem, I think there's a couple of areas that we kind of fall flat in, and I struggle to direct founders to the right accelerator or the right assistance. For example, fintech is one of them. There's a lot of hype right now about ag tech and like, where does that play? And so I think what I'm looking for is how do we go after every single vertical? And I think for a city, we all think we all can be known for one thing, but that's really challenging because there's entrepreneurs here in Birmingham that are in fintech and are in ag tech. And so how do we create an ecosystem and a community to kind of wrap our arms around everyone? And so I think we're trying to learn how do we help everyone? And it's a challenge. Yep.
Congratulations on what you good. My knowledge about innovation, a number of years ago, was formulating, coming on and providing basic resources, ideas, and some. What are those resources now? Specifically, I know spent a ton of time where people work on formulating business plans.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to do, how does this translate there? Still have emphasis on that and a little bit about the early.
Yeah, absolutely. And Susan Matlock did a great job of it. I was there for many years with Susan Matlock and kind of watched her lead so well. I think the challenge is when COVID hit, a lot of people went back home. They kind of put their heads down. They were building their companies. And so we have tried to get people back in the building to create density so that the serendipitous moments can actually happen just walking down the hall. But we also are taking a pretty strong stance in how we help them. And like I mentioned earlier, that survey that went out, we want to put something really cool in front of them at least once a week. It's just like an accelerator. You want them to be able to work on their companies, to work with their coworkers and build their company. You don't want to interrupt them, but we just want people to look up. We want them to get off their computers, even if it's just for 2 hours during a lunch, and come hear one of our speakers that maybe is going to teach them just how to file their taxes as a company. Or maybe someone's going to teach them how to pitch on a stage, or someone's going to teach them exactly how to do a marketing plan with no money. And so we want to put those things in front of them without bothering them. And so we have been very strategic on how we do that. We try to do one social event a month, one workshop a month, one event a month that allows people in the depot to learn about each other. And then the fourth event is we're doing an AI event every month. We've also just recently brought coffee and collisions to the Innovation Depot so that people from other cities can come and learn about entrepreneurship. And so we just want to put everything in front of them so that we can break down the barriers that are holding them back.
So what's the best way for us to post what you're doing and say, hey, I may be able to come to that or see that or just feel what's happening?
Yeah, the screen says it all. LinkedIn, Instagram, sign up for our newsletter. They go out once a month and it has all the information you should ever need. And this week we have Tech on Tap. It's on Thursday night, 4:30 at the Innovation Depot. So come and hang out. We typically have about 130, 140 people in our atrium area. There's no agenda. We just show up and network and free food and drinks. Yes.
Where's your plans for $1 million in aspiration?
Great question. So our Voltage program is doing really, really well. We just welcome, as I mentioned, Amanda welcomed our 7th class in. That'll help 15 entrepreneurs in the next 6 weeks. Some of that funding will go towards that. We are really focusing on incubation. So like I just mentioned, putting programs in front of our entrepreneurs. We're also building out a new program that I didn't even mention today called Vector. And that is when we identify a few of our top entrepreneurs and we help them. And so a lot of times companies leave the Birmingham area when they maybe get around almost $1 million in revenue and they go to Atlanta or Silicon Valley or Austin, Texas, and we want to retain that talent. And so this new Vector program that Josh is very passionate about here on the front row is that we're going to wrap our hands around 3 entrepreneurs next year and give them whatever they need to become the next Sweetio or the next Ship. And so some of those fundings, or some of that money will go towards that program. We also want to help founders by giving them resources for free. And so a big chunk of that money is going to go towards, let's say you have a company that really needs help making a video and they can't do it. We will pay for that company to get that video made so that they can kind of move the needle. And so really just addressing the problems that we have in the depot and how we can help these companies grow fast. Yep.
When you think about recruiting, investment, and talent in Birmingham, what would you say Birmingham brand is?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think it goes back to what I was saying is like, we're really putting ourselves out there as a health tech hub or an energy tech hub with Alabama Power here, but I think we don't have a brand. I mean, the BHAM
BM has more.
BM has more, I think, is our new brand that we're trying to kind of embrace that the BBA has been working on. And so I guess I would say BHAM has more. Abby says network and hospitality. She's, yes.
Brooke, thank you for work you're doing. Do you all see at Innovation Depot a better success rate for entrepreneurs than entrepreneurs who start up outside of an incubator?
Yeah, I thought somebody was going to throw me that question. I don't know the answer. I think if you look out, I mean, who are the biggest success rates in Birmingham? I mean, obviously Shift, they didn't get their start in the Innovation Depot, but then you look at the Shagans and the Fleetios and the Main Streets and the Theranos that did get their start there. So I think I would say our track record's pretty good. There's not a lot of other places that startups are working if they're not in their basement. And as I mentioned earlier, being an entrepreneur is a very lonely place. And so success is great, but happiness is greater. And so we just want to surround all of these entrepreneurs with other like-minded individuals that can be their biggest cheerleaders. Anyone else? That's it.
Thank you, Brooke. So here's the bottom line. If we want our city, our county, and our region to be strong, there are a couple things that have to be true. Birmingham and the city of Birmingham has to be strong. And what the Depot does is create some buzz and some energy and some density downtown. But here's the second piece. Our big companies have to do business with our medium-sized companies, have to do business with our small companies, have to do business with our startups. All the cities in the country that are growing real fast have that. And so we as a city have to be committed to making sure that if there's a business case and there's dollars to spend, that we spend it locally and get that money circulating in this city. And so it's exciting to see what is happening and the energy that's happening at the Depot and all of the great people that we're bringing in and all the homegrown people we're supporting as part of a bigger commitment to making sure that this city and this economy is growing. So thank you, Brooke, and thank you to the Depot, and thanks to everyone who is leading there. I think it is incredibly exciting. And appreciate your time with us here today. Apparently you're not giving to Prosper. We're going to make a donation to Innovation Depot. So it's $1 million and something else that Abby has raised. We look forward to seeing everyone here next week as we hear from Tim Vines, CEO of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alabama. As next week's meeting concludes, I will pass this gavel to Dr. Tracy Moran Adams, and this club will finally, at long last, have competent leadership. Have a great week. The meeting is adjourned.
Likes to make noise, y'all.